Utility versus speculation, the real divide in crypto. Not all cryptocurrencies are created equal. Some are designed to solve trillion-dollar problems in finance, trade, and data. Others exist only because of memes, hype, and the collective dream of getting rich quick. In today's crypto markets, the clash between utility and speculation is shaping the future of the entire industry. On one side stand the utility tokens, coins with a mission, coins that do something. XRP moves money across borders in seconds. Stellar, XLM, brings affordable remittances to families around the globe. XDC tackles the inefficiencies of global trade finance. Quant connects entire blockchains with Overledger. Chainlink feeds trusted data into smart contracts. Hedera, Algorand, and others focus on enterprise adoption, tokenization, and compliance with standards like ISO 2022. These aren't just coins, they are infrastructure. They're building the financial internet of tomorrow. On the other side are the speculative tokens, often born overnight, sometimes as jokes. Meme coins like Doge, Shiba, and countless others thrive not because of utility, but because of community hype and the thrill of speculation. They can rise 1,000% in a week and crash just as fast. For many, they represent the casino side of crypto, a high-stakes game of musical chairs where most are left without a seat when the music stops. But here's the question. Which side will define crypto's future? Will speculation remain king, or will real-world utility decide which tokens survive? History offers clues. In the dot-com boom of the 1990s, companies with no revenue soared to billion-dollar valuations, only to collapse when the hype faded. Yet a few, Amazon, Google, eBay, survived because they provided real value. Crypto today is replaying that same story. This documentary explores the divide. Why utility matters in a world moving toward tokenization, CBDCs, and digital rails for money. How speculation fuels hype but rarely lasts. The investor's dilemma: play the casino or bet on the infrastructure. And ultimately, why coins like XRP, XLM, XDC, Link, and QNT may outlive thousands of speculative tokens. This isn't just about price charts, it's about survival. The casino might be fun, but the future of global finance will only run on tokens that actually work. Because in the end, speculation might light the fire, but only utility will power the future. Part 1. The Rise of Utility. In the early days of crypto, speculation dominated the headlines. But quietly, a new wave of digital assets began emerging. Tokens designed not for memes or gambling, but for real-world use. These are the coins with utility, and they represent the foundation of the Internet of Value. Take XRP. Built for speed and efficiency, it moves value across borders in seconds, solving the trillion-dollar problem of slow, expensive remittances. Instead of days and fees stacked on fees, XRP delivers near-instant settlement at fractions of a penny. Banks and payment providers have already tested it through RippleNet, proving it isn't just a theory, and it works. Then there's Stellar, XLM. While XRP aimed at financial institutions, Stellar set its sights on the people, remittances, humanitarian aid, and microtransactions. Working with the UN and global NGOs, Stellar became the people's coin, bridging everyday finance for the unbanked. XDC attacks another massive pain point: trade finance. Trillions of dollars in global trade are still bogged down by paper contracts and outdated systems. By tokenizing invoices, bills of lading, and credit guarantees, XDC and its TradeFinex platform are unlocking liquidity in one of the world's most inefficient industries. Quant, QNT, approaches the challenge differently, not as a payments coin but as the operating system of blockchain. Its Overledger technology connects siloed blockchains, enabling true interoperability. In a future where thousands of networks must communicate seamlessly, Quant positions itself as the glue holding the ecosystem together. Meanwhile, Chainlink Link solved a problem almost no one saw coming: the oracle problem. Blockchains can't fetch real-world data on their own. Without oracles, smart contracts can't interact with markets, weather data, or supply chains. Chainlink became the standard, powering DeFi, tokenized assets, and even pilots with Swift. Algorand and Hedera took enterprise-first approaches. Algorand marketed itself as the green blockchain, pushing sustainability and tokenization use cases. Hedera, with its unique hash graph technology, aligned with blue-chip giants like Google, IBM, and Standard Bank, positioning itself as the trusted ledger for enterprise adoption. Across all of these projects, one thing is clear: utility is the common thread. Each tackles a real inefficiency in the world, whether it's payments, remittances, trade finance, interoperability, or data feeds. Together, they represent the scaffolding for a global financial system that doesn't yet exist, but is being built piece by piece. Contrast this with speculative coins, and the difference is night and day. While hype-driven tokens pump and collapse, utility coins build partnerships, secure compliance, and grow slowly but surely. They are less flashy in the short term, but exponentially more powerful in the long run. The rise of utility coins mirrors the early internet. In the 1990s, the world was captivated by chat rooms, dot-com startups, and speculative stocks. But beneath the noise, real infrastructure, fiber optic cables, routers, and protocols, quietly laid the foundation for everything we use today. Similarly, while memes dominate the headlines, utility cryptos are quietly building the digital rails that will one day move trillions. This is the beginning of the Great Divide, and as adoption accelerates, the difference between coins built on hype and coins built on purpose will become impossible to ignore, because in the end, the coins that do something useful will survive. The rest will fade into history. Part 2. The casino effect. For every utility-driven crypto building real-world solutions, there are hundreds that exist for one purpose only: speculation. This is the casino side of crypto. Tokens with little to no use case beyond trading hype, meme culture, or influencer promotion. Yet paradoxically, these coins often generate the biggest headlines and wildest price action. They capture attention because they play into the human desire for quick riches, turning the crypto market into what many outsiders see as a digital slot machine. The most famous example is Dogecoin. Originally created as a joke in 2013, Dogecoin was never intended to be taken seriously. It had no roadmap, no enterprise partnerships, no regulatory alignment. Its mascot, a Shiba Inu dog, was a meme from the internet's early days. Yet fueled by celebrity endorsements from Elon Musk and relentless online communities, Dogecoin soared to a market cap of tens of billions of dollars. For a brief moment in 2021, it seemed unstoppable, even though its underlying tech hadn't meaningfully advanced in years. Then came the wave of imitators: Shiba Inu, Floki, Pepe, Baby Doge, and countless Solana meme tokens. Each rode a cycle of hype, exploding in value as social media buzzed, then crashing as the initial momentum faded. A few early holders made life-changing gains. Many more bought at the top and were left with losses. These meme tokens highlight the short-term, casino-like nature of speculation-driven crypto. Prices are not determined by adoption, partnerships, or regulatory clarity. Instead, they rise and fall on tweets, TikTok trends, and herd psychology. It's gambling dressed in blockchain clothing. But it isn't just meme coins. Even larger projects sometimes fall into this trap. Many ERC-20 tokens launched during the 2017 ICO boom promised revolutionary use cases, but in reality, delivered little more than vaporware. Investors piled in, prices spiked, and within a year most collapsed to near zero. Speculation has always been part of markets, but in crypto it has been magnified. With low barriers to entry, anyone can create a token in minutes and list it on decentralized exchanges. Add a catchy name and a viral marketing push, and a speculative frenzy can erupt overnight. For some, it's thrilling. For others, it's devastating. This is not to say speculation has no place. In fact, it often serves as the on-ramp for new participants. Many people first enter crypto chasing meme coin gains, only later discovering the deeper world of utility projects like XRP or Chainlink. Speculation, in a sense, brings attention, but it rarely creates lasting value. Because the truth is, hype doesn't scale. No government, bank, or multinational corporation will build its financial infrastructure on meme coins or vaporware. Speculative assets can generate wealth for a lucky few, but they can't solve trillion-dollar inefficiencies. They can't move global liquidity. They can't power CBDCs or secure enterprise data. What they can do is distort the perception of crypto as a whole. When news outlets report on crypto, they often focus on the absurdity of meme tokens, painting the entire industry as unserious. Meanwhile, the utility projects quietly making real progress are overshadowed. This creates a tension at the heart of the industry. The casino grabs the spotlight while the infrastructure is built in the shadows. But as history shows, casinos don't last forever. Speculative booms come and go, leaving behind wreckage. The survivors are rarely the meme coins, but the projects that actually do something useful. Crypto is no different. The casino effect may dominate headlines, but it won't dominate the future. Part 3. Why utility wins speculation may drive headlines, but utility is what wins in the long run. Markets eventually separate noise from signal. And in crypto, the signal comes from real-world adoption. When governments, banks, and enterprises look for solutions, they don't care about memes or hype. They care about efficiency, compliance, and results. The case for utility begins with regulation. The future of finance will not be built on assets that skirt the rules. It will be built on networks that align with global standards like ISO 2022, AML, and KYC requirements. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, and Algo are designed with compliance in mind, making them viable candidates for institutional use. Meme coins, by contrast, cannot and will not meet these requirements. That's the first filter that wipes most speculative tokens out of contention. Next is network effect. Utility-driven tokens create value through adoption. Each new bank, payment provider, or enterprise that plugs into RippleNet or Stellar strengthens the network. Each new institution using Chainlink oracles enhances its dominance as the data backbone of blockchain. Each trade finance pilot on XDC brings new liquidity to the system. Over time, these effects compound, creating exponential growth. Meme coins, by contrast, only gain strength from hype. Once the hype fades, the network collapses. Then there's scale. Utility-driven projects are tackling trillion-dollar markets. Cross-border payments alone represent a $156 trillion annual flow. Trade finance carries a $5 trillion liquidity gap. The derivatives market exceeds $1 quadrillion in notional value. These are not niche use cases. They are the beating heart of the global financial system. If even a fraction of these markets move onto blockchain rails, the demand for utility tokens will dwarf anything driven by speculation. Consider this. If XRP or XDC handles even a small percentage of international settlement flows, the liquidity required to support that activity forces price appreciation. It isn't about hype, it's math. The more value that moves across the network, the higher the value of the token must be to support it. Meme coins have no such dynamic. Their value isn't tied to real-world flows, only to speculative demand. Another reason utility wins: partnerships. Ripple works with banks, remittance providers, and even governments. Stellar partners with the UN, IBM, and MoneyGram. Hedera's governing council includes Google, IBM, LG, Standard Bank, and other blue-chip giants. Chainlink has integrated with nearly every DeFi protocol, alongside pilots with Swift and major enterprises. These partnerships provide credibility, adoption, and long-term staying power. Meme coins may have celebrity endorsements, but they don't have institutions betting their reputations on them. Finally, there's the historical pattern. Look back at the dot-com bubble. Thousands of companies soared in value in the late 1990s based on hype. Pets.com became a household name despite a weak business model. But in the aftermath, only the companies that delivered real utility, Amazon, Google, Apple, survived and thrived. The same story will play out in crypto. 90% of tokens will disappear, but those that remain will be the ones solving real-world problems. This doesn't mean speculation won't continue. There will always be meme coins and hype tokens, but they will be sideshows, not the main event. The future belongs to the assets that power payments, tokenization, and interoperability. The future belongs to utility. And as regulation tightens, adoption spreads, and trillions move onto blockchain, the divide between utility and speculation will only widen. The casino may capture attention, but it's the infrastructure that will run the world. Part 4. The investor's dilemma. For investors, the divide between utility and speculation creates a paradox. On the surface, speculative tokens can look more attractive. They move faster, spike harder, and offer stories of overnight millionaires. Meanwhile, utility tokens often climb slowly, grinding through years of development, regulatory battles, and incremental adoption. This creates a temptation. Why wait years for XRP or XDC to gain traction when you can buy a meme coin that might 10x in a week? It's the allure of quick profits versus the discipline of long-term conviction. This is the investor's dilemma. Speculation offers excitement. Look at Dogecoin's surge in 2021. Some early holders turned pocket change into fortunes. Shiba Inu created headlines when it minted millionaires in days. For those on the sidelines, the fear of missing out was overwhelming. But for every winner, There were countless losers, people who bought at the top only to watch their investments evaporate when the hype faded. Utility coins, on the other hand, often test investors' patience. XRP spent years locked in a legal battle with the SEC. Stellar, despite humanitarian partnerships, has rarely seen explosive pumps compared to speculative coins. XDC built real trade pilots, but outside the crypto community few noticed. To the impatient, these assets feel stagnant. Yet history suggests patience pays. In the dot-com era, Pets.com soared briefly before collapsing, while Amazon traded sideways for years before dominating global commerce. Google launched with skepticism but became indispensable. Investors who saw beyond the hype and focused on utility were the ones who captured generational wealth. The same principle applies in crypto. Speculation may offer quick gains, but it's rarely sustainable. Utility tokens align with trillion-dollar markets, enterprise adoption, and regulation. Over time, as the casino fades, infrastructure becomes the only story that matters. That doesn't mean investors should ignore speculation entirely. For some, small bets on meme coins are like lottery tickets, a gamble worth the risk if treated as entertainment. But the bulk of serious capital, especially institutional money, will always flow to utility. Banks don't gamble on Pepe. They build on Ripple. Governments don't adopt Shiba. They test CBDCs on XRP, Stellar, Algorand, or Hedera. The dilemma is less about choosing one side and more about recognizing the difference. Utility and speculation aren't equal. One is sustainable, the other is fleeting. One creates generational wealth, the other offers quick wins and quick losses. For the everyday investor, the lesson is clear. Speculation may give you a story to tell. Utility can give you a future to live in. As adoption accelerates, those holding coins that do nothing may find themselves holding digital relics of a casino age. Those holding coins with utility may find themselves holding the infrastructure of the new financial system. This is the choice every investor must make: gamble on hype or build with the future. Part 5: The Future of Crypto. Infrastructure versus Casino. The story of crypto is reaching its turning point. For over a decade, speculation has dominated the conversation, with headlines about meme coins and overnight millionaires overshadowing the slow, steady progress of utility-driven projects. But as adoption deepens, as regulations tighten, and as institutions move billions onto blockchain rails, the casino era is giving way to something much larger. The future of crypto will not be decided by hype. It will be decided by infrastructure. Consider what's happening across the globe. Central banks are exploring CBDCs. Corporations are tokenizing assets from stocks to real estate. Governments are testing blockchain for supply chains, healthcare records, and carbon markets. None of these initiatives are powered by Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, or Pepe. They are testing and building on XRP, Stellar, XDC, Algorand, Hedera, Quant, and Chainlink. The projects designed for compliance, scalability, and real-world utility. The writing is on the wall. Speculation may remain as a cultural phenomenon, but it cannot carry the weight of the future financial system. Meme coins will continue to appear, pump and collapse, drawing in gamblers. But they will exist at the margins, curiosities in a much larger ecosystem dominated by infrastructure. And the numbers tell the story. Cross-border payments, $156 trillion annually. Global trade finance, $5 trillion liquidity gap. The derivatives market, $1 quadrillion. Tokenization of real-world assets, projected to exceed $100 trillion by 2030. These markets will not be settled with hype tokens. They will demand rails that work, and rails that comply with global standards. Utility coins are not just positioned for this shift. They are the only viable candidates. This doesn't mean the transition will be immediate. Speculation will always have its place, and retail investors will continue chasing the next big pump. But as institutions bring trillions into the space, the focus will shift. Infrastructure will define the winners, and the divide between coins that do something and coins that do nothing will become irreversible. The future of crypto is not a casino. It is a financial system. And just like the early internet, the companies that built the highways and operating systems, not the fads and failures, are the ones that shaped the future. So when the history of digital assets is written, it won't be the meme coins that define the era. It will be the utilities, the bridges, the oracles, the ledgers, the operating systems that carried trillions of dollars and built the internet of value. Because in the end, speculation is noise. Utility is the signal, and utility always wins. Utility versus speculation. Speculation grabs attention. Meme coins go viral, overnight pumps dominate headlines. But when the dust settles, it isn't hype that changes the world, it's utility. The projects solving trillion-dollar inefficiencies, XRP, Stellar, XDC, Quant, Chainlink, Algorand, Hedera, are building the backbone of the Internet of Value. They are creating the rails for cross-border payments, trade finance, tokenization, CBDCs, and data integrity. They are the Amazons and Googles of cryptos.com era. The rest digital lottery tickets. Some win fast, most vanish even faster. The future is clear. Speculation may start the fire, but utility builds the engine that keeps it running. And in the end, utility always wins. Subscribe to LTL Productions for more deep dives into the cryptos that matter, the coins shaping the future of money. Don't just watch the casino, follow the infrastructure being built to power the world.